Hello everyone. I am very thankful for having my presentation in this online class. The topic of my presentation is proxy authentication mechanism. First of all, I would like to define proxy authentication. So it is nothing but a method to improve internal network security. Here we are trying to identify malware software or unauthorized user, or we are trying to prove the identity of user. So for this, we have generally four authentication mechanism, and they are basic authentication method, digest with MD5, and then NTLM, and the last one is negotiate with Kerberos. So let me explain this one by one. First is basic authentication method. It is very simple method, and in this method, if a client want to use a resource from a server, then client provides username and password. Means client provides clear text, that is clear username and clear password. So this method is more insecure, and if we would like to see the advantage of basic authentication method, then this method is compatible with nearly every internet browser. And if we would like to see the disadvantage of basic authentication method, then this method is vulnerable to replay attack. So in replay attack, attacker misuse the information of the communication between two persons, that is communication between client and server. So this type of attacking is possible in basic authentication method. So we have another authentication mechanism called digest with MD5. So this method is more easy to implement, and it is more secure using MD5 hashed username and password. So I hope you are familiar with hash value, and if not, then it is a method to convert your message into fixed length code. And the full form of MD5 means full form of MD is a message digest, and this MD5 algorithm produces 128-bit hash value. You can see in this figure, I have provided my name and it returns me a hash value. So you can generate a hash value of a message using offline or online tools. Now I have one question for everyone. Is hashing irreversible? Means we can generate hash value, but it is possible to decrypt that hash value or not? And the answer is no, because since hashing is a one-way function, we can easily generate hash value, but it is almost impossible to decrypt that hash value. And if you are confusing between two terms, encryption and hashing, then encryption is a two-way function. Means if we can encrypt any message, then we can also decrypt that message. But since hashing is a one-way function, it is almost impossible to decrypt that hash value. So this is one disadvantage of using MD5. Now we have another authentication mechanism called NTLM. The full form of NTLM is a new technology LAN manager. This method is also called challenge response authentication protocol. And in this method, client accepts the challenge to perform mathematical calculation on the password and send encrypted password to the domain controller. Means in a basic authentication method, client provides clear password, but in NTLM, client provides encrypted password. So this method is more secure than basic authentication method. And also the domain controller performs the same calculation to decrypt the password. And if both of these passwords get matched, then the client is allowed to use a resource from a server. So in this way NTLM works. And for authentication, NTLM use obviously NTLM protocol. But NTLM has one disadvantage, that is NTLM password is weak and can be decrypted by brute force attack. So in a brute force attack, attacker uses a trial and error method to decrypt the password. Means he tries the password again and again until the password gets matched. So this type of attacking is possible in NTLM. So to deal with this, we have another more secure method called Kerberos. Kerberos requires a trusted third party. I will explain about third party in my next slide. And Kerberos provides strong authentication for client server application. And this Kerberos is mainly based on ticket, and this ticket is provided by this third party. And in this method, there are communication over non-secure network, but in a secure manner. Now I would like to explain Kerberos from figure. So this figure illustrates the working mechanism of Kerberos. And you can see here in my previous slide, that is in basic authentication method and in NTLM, there was involvement of only client and server. But you can see here in this figure, there are involvement of client, server, and the key distribution center. So this key distribution center is called third party, and this third party should be trusted because the client has to share his password to the third party. So this should be trusted. And key distribution center has two service called authentication service and ticket granting service. Now, if a client want to use a resource from a server, then client has to prove his identity from third party. So he requests a ticket from third party, and then if this key distribution center verifies the user, it provides a ticket or token to the client. And by using that ticket or token, client is allowed to use a resource from a server. You can think that ticket just like a movie ticket, means if you have ticket, you can watch a movie. So just like that, if client has ticket, then client is allowed to use a resource from a server. So in this way, Kerberos works. Means in Kerberos, client has to prove his identity from third party. So this third party is a bonus point in Kerberos. Now let's implement practically. So how can we configure basic authentication method with Squid? And Squid is a Linux-based proxy application. And so let's do code. I will close this first. I have already opened my VirtualBox. And I have already opened my terminal. Can you see my terminal?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So since this is basic authentication method, client has to provide username and password to get authenticated. And for this, we need to install some package. And to install that package, we have to write rpm. We have to write yum install. We need Squid, and we need another HTTPD. So install these two packages, and since I have already installed in my system, I need to check by writing command rpm q Squid. So I have Squid 3.1 in my system. In the same way, rpm q httpd tools. So I have http tools 2.2 in my system. Now I need another package also, but I don't need to install that package separately because I can get that package from Squid. So let me check by writing command rpm ql inside Squid grep. I need ncsa auth file. So I have ncsa auth in my system. Now I need to pass this path in my configuration file, and my configuration file is etc squid.com. So this is my configuration file. Now I need to make some changes in this configuration file. So I need to add this 6 line of code here, and I have already added this line here. And I have to add this code below this line. Insert your own rules here to allow access from your client. So this is my own rule, and I have already added this line. So let me explain this line one by one. So this first line, auth param basic program. This is the path of ncsa auth, as I have already mentioned, and this is the path where the user and the password of authorized user is to be placed. And then this second line indicates this children 5 means there are 5 processes to handle incoming authentication request, and if there are more than 5 clients, he or she will have to wait. And then this third line indicates this is one of the method of Squid basic authentication. So we are using Realm Squid basic authentication method. And then this fourth line indicates credential 20 minutes. So this is the time frame for storing username and password in a cache. Means I have set here 20 minutes. So if the time is more than 20 minutes, then user has to provide authentication again. And then this second last line indicates yes, proxy authentication is required to get authenticated. And then this last line indicates if client give correct username and password, he or she is allowed to use a resource from a server. So I need my own rule to define here. So I have already added this line here, and I can comment all other line also. So you can see here. And also I need to mention port. So this is the HTTP port 3128. So this is the port where Squid normally listens. Now after making these changes, I have to press escape colon W for save and Q for quit. Okay. Now I need to check my IP address by writing command ifconfig. So my IP address is 192.168.10.107. Also I can check my host name by writing command host name. So my host name is localhost or local domain. Now I need to pass this IP address or this host name in my httpd configuration file. And my httpd configuration file is etc httpd conf/httpd.conf. So I need to pass either IP address or localhost or local domain, means host name in server name, and I have already passed it. So let me close this. Now I need to restart my squid. So service squid restart. Now this may take about 15 to 20 seconds, and since this is a basic authentication method, client has to provide username and password to get authenticated. And after I restart my squid and httpd, and if I open web browser, then it should ask for username and password. So let's wait. It is almost completed. Okay, I need to restart my httpd also. So service httpd restart. Now if I open web browser, and if I open any sites like Facebook, YouTube, Google, let me open Facebook. Then it should open Facebook, because I have to make some changes in setting also. So it should open Facebook login or sign up page. So this is my Facebook login or sign up page. Now I need to make some changes in setting. So let me close this first. And inside this edit, inside this preferences, and in advanced tab, in network tab, so configure how Firefox connects to the internet. So inside setting, I have to tick manual proxy configuration, and I need to pass my IP address, and my IP address is I think 107. So this is my IP address. So I have to put here 107. 192.168.10.107 and my port 312. So it is the port where Squid normally listens. And I need to check this line, use this proxy server for all protocols. And let me click on OK. And if I close this, now if I open Facebook again, let's see what happened. So if I open Facebook, you can see here it asks for username and password. So authentication required. The proxy, this is my IP address 192.168.10.107, and this is the Squid port is requesting a username and password. The site says Squid basic authentication. So I have to give username and password to get authenticated. But I haven't created username and password till now. So let's create it. If I press cancel here, you can see the proxy server is refusing connection. Now let me close this web browser. Close. Now to create user and password, the command is stpasswd -c inside etc inside squid inside passwd. So my username is CentOS, and in password I can give any password I like. So let me use my own name as password. So Ishwar, and then again Ishwar. Okay, adding password for user CentOS. If you want to add another user, then you have to remove this -c because this -c overrides all user. So if you want to use another user, then you have to remove this -c. I can also check if my username is successfully created or not. So I need to go inside etc squid passwd. So my CentOS username is successfully created. Let me close this. Now I need to restart my squid again. So service squid restart. Now this may also takes about 15 to 20 seconds, and after I restart my squid and httpd, and if I again open web browser, it should ask for username and password. And if I give correct username, that is username is CentOS and the password is Ishwar, then it should open the site that I want to open. So let's wait. Okay, now I need to restart my httpd also. So service httpd restart. Okay, now if I open web browser, and if I open again YouTube, Facebook, Google, so let me open my Facebook again. It again asks for username and password, and if I give incorrect username and incorrect password, and if I press OK, you can see here it again asks for username and password. So I have to give correct username and correct password. So my correct username is CentOS and my correct password is Ishwar. And if I press OK, now it should open Facebook. It should open Facebook login or sign up page. So this is my Facebook login or sign up page. In this way, we can configure Squid basic authentication method. So first of all, we need to install some package, that is Squid and httpd, and then we need to make some changes in this configuration file, Squid configuration file, and then we have to create username and password. So in this way, Squid basic we can configure Squid basic authentication method. Now, if you have any question, you can ask me by unmuting your mic. Any question?
Anyone?
If not, then thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ishwar. Very good presentation, very good demonstration.
Thank you, sir.
What a good research we have done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.